Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for this Vodia webinar on our apps as well as web extensions. My name is Eric Altman, sales engineer here at Vodia, and I'll be running through it with you today. You'll notice on the right-hand side there is a chat box, so if you do have any questions as we're going through it, feel free to put those in there, or afterwards, after the session, we'll be opening that up for questions as well. So with that, let's dive right in. So when we talk about the administrator, obviously that's going to be who's setting up the users and defining permissions. Users are going to receive a welcome email with a QR code that they can use to provision the mobile app. The QR code's also available in the Windows app by clicking on your profile picture and then choosing QR code. In the multi-tenant hosted environment, when setting up a user, there are different levels of users as well. And one of them is being that a user will work only from the app. So you can have users that are apps only users. The Vodia softphone for Windows, it's a free softphone developed by Vodia Networks. It can be used to make and receive VoIP phone calls directly from your work computer using Vodia's patented WebRTC technology. You can download our app at the Microsoft Store, and whether it's small business or an enterprise subscriber, your customer will enjoy the easy-to-use web interface that allows users in the office or remote to make and receive calls from their workstation. You'll notice an easy-to-use GUI with our app. In the account profile settings, you can upload a picture, change how you want your name displayed, enter your current position in the company, and update your web login password. So you'll notice here in this slide and in others that we're giving a lot of power to the users themselves. So they don't need to contact an administrator if they want their name displayed differently or they want to change what their position shows as. So a lot of power to the users themselves to set these things. Now, across the top of the settings screen, you'll see the menu where you can do a number of different things, like setting up call forwarding, configuring when your cell phone will be used for answering calls, entering information to tie into one of our popular CRM integrations, customize your voice mailbox, and even create custom groups to display. Your voice mailbox settings allow you to do multiple things. Your mailbox can be used to receive inbound faxes. These faxes will be sent as a PDF to your email as well as to your messages in the app. You can even assign a fax DID for people to fax to you directly. And then on the voicemail side, you'll receive a notification on your mobile app when you have a new message. And in your settings, you can also choose to copy or move messages to another mailbox so that can be shared. And there's also a setting in there to offer the caller the choice to try calling your cell phone rather than just leaving a message. So as they're entering the mailbox, you can have it set so that it does offer the option for them to try your cell phone. In your settings, you can also set up integration with some of the most popular CRMs, Zoho, Salesforce, Sugar CRM. By putting in your CRM credentials, it'll connect the PBX to that CRM so that inbound and outbound calls are logged in the CRM, as well, of course, as in the PBX call detail records. So you can tie those two together, again, as a user, going into the CRM settings and putting in your credentials. Now, a Vodia user can control what type of call their cell phone will ring on. Based on the drop-down choice, users can choose not to call the cell phone, to call it immediately, or to call it after a set amount of time. If the user is also part of a hunt group or an agent group, they can decide whether they want their cell phone included in that group as well. You can get really granular with this, as there are even settings for the user to specify when the system will call the cell phone, and also which numbers go to the cell phone anytime or never go to the cell phone. So a lot of settings in there as far as tying in your cell phone, or really any phone number. We're calling it a cell phone here, but it can be any number that you could put in there to tie into it. Standard call forwarding can be set up to forward all calls or busy or no answer calls can be forwarded even to different locations. And in these fields, forwarding can be done to an internal extension or an external number. So again, remember, we're in the user's view here, so they don't have to get an administrator to set up their call forwarding. They can forward all the calls, or just, hey, when it's busy, forward it here. But if it's no answer, I want it forwarded there, that type of thing. At a quick glance in the app extension list, there's a small circle icon on each user, and that's going to show whether the user is signed in or not signed into the app. So you can see these little red dots here, green dots. That's telling me whether someone is available. They're on the app or they're not even signed into the app. And that presence can be useful if you're sending a message, because you're going to know that if they're red, they're not going to see your message until they log in and are green again. And the way messaging is done internally is by clicking on the three dots that are next to the extension and then choosing, you'll see make call, text, add favorite. So obviously you're going to choose text. And then in the icons on the left side of the page, the star is a list of your favorites. And so you can build that by adding frequently called extensions or team members to that list of favorites. So you've got these icons on the left side that allow you to do that. SMS, so you can send SMS messages from your home screen. You can also do it from your call screen, your messages, or even your voicemail screen. So from any of those places, you can actually click on the three dots, choose text, and send an SMS message. The user who gets the message, they're going to get a notification that they have an unread message, and it will show the date and time stamp. So you'll see that information that are associated with that message as well. The manager roles. So extensions can be assigned the manager role for the domain address book. This extension is able to manage and create entries for the group, for the agent group. The idea here is this avoids having to give staff domain administrator access just for maintaining the domain address book on the Vodia phone system. So with that role, someone can go in there and they can edit and manage that address book without necessarily being a domain administrator on the system. Call recording. So the apps now have some better control over the call recording. For example, they can turn a call recording off at the customer's request. That's all possible. Start the recording, turn it off. Ad hoc recording can be done just with this recording button that on a live call is going to show up right there, and you're able to record the call or stop the recording if need be. Drag and drop transferring. So this is pretty cool. Transferring calls on the Windows app. It's easy. It can be achieved by just typing in the number that you want to transfer to, or as you can see in the graphic here, you can click and drag right into where it says type phone number. You just take that, drag it right in, and that'll automatically transfer the call right there. So nice, easy way to transfer a call, or if you choose, you can just click transfer and put the actual number that you're transferring to in that field. Now, call center feature. So usually using call center, not necessarily just with call center or agent groups, but you do have a role that's going to be able to barge, listen, and whisper. So on a call, you're able to listen in, monitor the call if you're a manager. I guess the scenario would be, let's say I'm listening to the call and I hear that it's starting to get out of hand, or I want my agent to mention something. I can then go into whisper mode. So that means I'm whispering in their ear without the other person hearing anything, and telling them, hey, don't forget to mention this or that. I do that. Now I'm listening to the call, monitoring it in the whisper mode, but I realize I better jump in on this call because it's getting out of hand. So at that point, I can choose to barge, and that'll barge me right into the call. So now it's a conference call, three-way call between that agent and the customer, as well as the manager. So this is a real nice feature. It can be brought on in the calls and domain in the app. There's this little window right here. If you click that, it's going to go ahead and open this up so that you will have those three choices to barge into the call, to monitor or listen to it, and to whisper and coach as well. This is all based on permissions, so it's not just like anybody can do it. Obviously, that's something that the administrator is going to set as far as who has the permission to do these things, to listen, to whisper in their ear, or to barge into the call. So the mobile apps now have an MWI notification feature, so the apps can receive a message waiting notification when a new voicemail message is available. And that's true even when the app is not active. You'll see it down here on the bottom. This person has quite a lot of voicemails there, 109, but it's going to show you that, on the bottom of your screen, you will get that notification if you do have a message waiting. Transferring. So previously, the transferring the apps potentially was a problem depending on who was calling who, but the new way we transfer now, it's better designed on the API side, and it reduces any of those problematic cases. To transfer on the mobile app, just click on the left arrow to transfer out. The app's going to provide you with a transfer dialog box, and from there you can transfer to an extension, or you can even put a phone number in there, so you can transfer to an outside line as well. So here on these next two slides are just going to go over some of the features for both the iOS as well as Android phones. With iOS, it's going to require 13.0 or later. It's also compatible with iPhone, iPad, and the iPod Touch. You'll see in Apple's history. Like we mentioned before, provisioning this is simple. Load the app, then go ahead and scan that QR code, and boom, the app's up and ready to go. You've got reliable voice. You'll notice there is presence here as well, so you will see the circles that'll tell you whether someone's on the app. Obviously, you can make and receive calls. You'll see a call history. You can put calls on hold and transfer them. You've got that voicemail notification, as well as Bluetooth compatibility, so you can use this with your Bluetooth. You can mute your voice if you need to. And in the address book, you do have a search functionality as well. And basically, this next slide, it's basically the same features. Obviously, they're different operating systems and all that, but you're going to have to be on 5.0 Lollipop or higher. You'll still see a history, be able to provision. You've got the presence, making calls, holding, transferring, notification, Bluetooth, and mute, and searching the address book. So basically got those same types of features on the mobile app, whether it's iOS or Android. And then Vodia offers now a free click to dial on Chrome and Mozilla. So to call a phone number on a web browser, all you got to do is right click on the number you want to call. You'll be presented with that Vodia extension. And then at that point, you can choose to call the number from the browser using Vodia WebRTC, or to call it right from your desk phone. So you can make that choice in the drop down once you hit the Vodia click to dial. The push app, so we automatically set the nearest push server during the installation, and that helps to reduce delay during call setup, especially outside of North America. But that is an editable field, so you can put in a different push server than the one Vodia chooses if you want. But we will go ahead and automatically set that for you with the closest one. I wanted to let you know about something new we've got going now. So now you can actually get Vodia on DigitalOcean and the DigitalOcean marketplace. This is a great chance for you guys to go out and test these apps if you haven't tested them already. On the DigitalOcean marketplace, you're going to create your droplet. You can test things like Teams collaboration. It's going to be a true multi-tenant, so that one instance can handle multiple customers just by creating different domains within the PBX. This is a bring your own license, bring your own SIP trunk and SIP phone. But with the SIP phone, we're talking about the apps here, you don't necessarily need to bring a desktop phone because you can work through the mobile apps or the Windows-based app. But basically, you guys can go on this. This is live today. You're working through DigitalOcean, which obviously is a reliable infrastructure. It supports the Let's Encrypt certificates. And basically what a system that you're working on is a Linux Debian based 64-bit. So, I encourage you to check that out. Great way for you to test the apps and set up a multi-tenant PBX right there on DigitalOcean. And then we always want to, push our Teams integration. It's an easy integration. Also auto-generating the Let's Encrypt certificates. You can even host multiple Teams domains, and you're offering traditional PBX features to both the Teams members and the non-Teams members, obviously, because this is one PBX for everybody. Because of Vodia's built-in SBC, session border controller, we can offer different voice routes to different trunk providers. Your team members, the Microsoft Teams members, can have a DID on the PBX, which is nice, and they can receive and make calls from Teams to Vodia or Vodia to Teams. In fact, from Vodia to a Teams member, you can use the existing IP phone that you have and still call a Teams member up directly through our PBX with this integration. Conferencing can be used by both team members and non-Teams members. It can actually be even a mixed conference of team and non-team members. And the Teams members, as well as the users, Teams members can mix and match between the Teams communicator, but they also have all the Vodia options as well, the Vodia Apps, the Vodia WebRTC portal, and desktop phones, to use to make and receive calls. That's basically what I got for you guys. Just wanted to give you a good taste of, what we've got going on with the apps. Again, I highly encourage you to, load them if you haven't already. I mean, if you've got the Windows app set up, you can always, get that QR code and just load your mobile app very simply. Don't even have to put in credentials with that QR code. If you have a support inquiry, you're having any issues at all, you can always write to us, support@vodia.com, or even open tickets up at vodia.zamad.com. Our documentation, which is doc.vodia.com, it's available, as a link through our website, but you can go right to doc.vodia.com. That's going to give you a searchable online documentation. So you can go in there, search up different subjects, and get the information you need. With that /software, that's going to take you right to the page where you can download this for Windows or Linux or Mac. If you're onboarding, I mean sales@vodia.com. That's where you're going to want to go, or contact sales for any of those types of questions, any sales related questions. You can contact us right through that email address, sales@vodia.com. Thanks for watching. Like I said, that kind of wraps up what I've got for you today. But I do want to go ahead and open this up for any questions that people have. And I'm just looking over here. It looks like some of these questions were already answered. So you can all see that through the app. Let's see, I'm just scrolling through here. Looks like Hamlet as well as Kyle have answered these. So basically, through it, our orbits exist. I'm just looking through the chat right now to see if there's anything. Okay, even this last one, exiting the app, there's a round button on the phone or swipe down to do that. I mean, it looks like most of the questions that you guys have asked while I've been going through the slides have been answered here in the chat. If they haven't, or if you have any other questions, you can type that in to us. Okay, looks like we have somebody who's saying that when they close the app, it's still ringing, messages are still there. Okay, so it looks like whoever's asking that question, please contact our support. We can walk you through that to make sure. And that has been fixed in the latest app version. That's why someone asked that question. Even when they close it, it's still ringing. And Hamlet asked the question, are you running the latest version? Because with the latest version, that's not going to happen. So you can always just update it, and that'll fix it. Or if you need to contact support, basically that's what they're going to tell you. Okay. Yep. So the PBX version is. Oh, okay. Okay. So on the PBX, yeah, that version has been fixed, not on the app yet. So please, contact us if you're still having any troubles with that, especially after you've upgraded. Let's see if we got anything else. All right. I think we got all the questions that you guys asked while we were running through this. Obviously, if you have any other questions, you can contact us. If it's sales related, sales@vodia.com. If it's anything technical, obviously you can contact our support by either calling them or going to support@vodia.com. As far as someone's asking, is SMS functionality available in Australia? Yeah, okay. Ham beat me to it. He answered that. Bandwidth, Telnex, those are providers that will, offer SMS capabilities. So depending on the trunk that you're using, if it's Bandwidth or Telnex, then yes, you would have SMS functionality available in Australia or anywhere using those companies. Somebody's saying that the Windows app is losing the connection several times a day. I mean, yeah, if there's no use, there is a session timer. The nice thing that we've done though is we've made it so that it should be, if it's closing the session, it should give you a pop-up that allows you to restore the session as well. So if that happens, I know it's happened to me a couple of times, but very simply just restore the connection. You'll get that pop-up, click there, and you'll be good to go. And we are, in the works is to extend the time on that session. But basically it's just not being used, and so the timer's running out, and that's why it's disconnecting. But not just disconnecting, and all of a sudden you don't have connection. You will get that window letting you know that you can reconnect. That the session timed out, and then just reconnect from there. I mean, someone's asking about the ringing on the Windows app. They're saying isn't working with them. I mean, things to try to troubleshoot it. I mean, I would just contact our tech support on something like that. We're not sure if it's what you're running it on. I mean, there could be a number of different things, but Windows notification settings would be, one thing to check. You can even Google how to get to there if you don't know how. But checking the Windows notification settings should at least be one way you can troubleshoot that. But there are some other permissions too. So, contact us if that doesn't help it. And all right. Somebody's asking, they're on our Vodia hosted. Can they have a backup server? Yes, we will provide that for failover. So any of our hosted licenses, you will be able to fail over to a backup server. We'll set that up for you, and there's no cost for that either. All right. Looks like we're good here. Again, even though we're into the session here, we will be posting this, so you'll be able to see it again. And obviously, either call us or email us if you have any other questions related to this or anything. Again, if it's sales related, you can go to sales@Vodia, and if it's support related, support@vodia.com. That'll at least get you started. And I think we're good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Have a great day out there, and be in contact with us if you have any questions. Thank you.